Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Lulu. How are you?
Very good. And I'm thrilled to be introducing you. We just did another interview on your creative work and how painting can really help us to tap in our immense potential and spirit. But I really wanted to introduce you to everybody because we met, as I said in the other video, in Atlanta at the Oprah Winfrey Network audition. And it has been such a miracle and such a synchronicity to have met you. And there's so many consequences as you know, the fact that I met you then is now opening up all those things. And I want to let everybody know how easy it can be sometimes when we let go of however our dream can look like, because from the moment that I didn't receive the call from the Oprah producers, and you haven't either, then we had the chance to meet, and since then we've been speaking, and you have tremendous experience and have been doing a lot of team building and a lot of coaching and a lot of intuitive work, and it's like I'm meeting you, this person that has all those skills, I mean all this information and creative juice and tools, and I am just so blessed and so thankful that we can work on what I would call, a strategic plan to make this dream, to make this US tour, juicy tour around the US for a year. Um, and I just, I wanted to see what the experience is for you on your end too.
Well, and I'm excited also. And my background is I've been in marketing and advertising and strategic planning
I
for
know.
over 20 years, and had a wonderful career in the corporate world. And of course, that's something that I say I can do with my eyes closed. And when I met you, I realized that you have so much to bring to the world, and that your goal is to get out there. And as part of my previous business offerings, once I left the corporate world, was I spent a lot of time working with small business and individuals in helping them brand their business, and even and writing a sort of a step-by-step strategy on how they were going to achieve their goals.
Mm.
And when I met you, I was able to see that you are such a creative person, and that I wanted to assist you. I wanted to help you. I wanted to share my expertise with you so that we can get that ball rolling.
Yeah, because that's the
And
thing with creative people, isn't it? I mean, I feel like I have all those things, and this is, especially when it's a big dream, it deserves a plan and it deserves some kind of action steps also, still leaving room for amazing things to happen naturally, but you still need to be organized, and that is such a relief for me to have found a person like you.
right, and it goes back to when I work with a lot of business, and especially where it's what we call solopreneur, which means you're the only person in your business.
Yeah.
What happens is that many times those individuals move forward taking action, which is good, but they don't take the time to think about their business and put something down on paper. And what I do is I kind of come in and I say, okay, we have to get organized. And then
Yeah.
I sort of pull people back and say, okay, let's think about your business and make sure that what you're doing is aligning with your business plan or a business strategy. And of course, many of those people say, well, I don't have a plan in writing. And I say, well, that's okay. We can get one. We can do a one page or a two page or a three page, but it's something to work from. And what I saw is that, again, like you were talking about, it's when you own a business, or even if you're an individual and you want to create your own personal brand, you not only have to work in the business, you have to work on the business. And most creative people don't have the time to work on the business.
Yeah.
So I wanted to step in and help you work
But
on the
yeah,
business.
and what I love is that you have all this corporate experience of finding sponsors. Because for me, it's so important to bring all this content, and there's going to be a lot of content, and to bring this content just free for everybody to watch. but have the corporate, have the companies and have the sponsors that want to support this in making it happen. Have companies that are eco-friendly, that have visions for the future, that can support this for it to be accessible then to everybody and be part of this global conversation. And because it costs some money to do this kind of stuff. So I mean, there's some companies out there that have the cash, right?
Yes, and the thing is that this is the kind of program that can thrive with sponsorships, and it is important that, again, it's a business. I know that, and I know many people that come from a spiritual place say, well, I just want to have that free flow. Well, what I've been able to do in my career and in my own personal development is I've been able to start to recognize how you blend a plan with free flow, or with allowing miracles to come into your business, or allowing just wonderful things to happen, and then and learning how to take steps and jump into that opportunity, because many people miss opportunities in their business. So and I think that I know there are sponsors out there that would absolutely love to support this program, and the fact that you can bring a huge audience. I mean, you have 4 million viewers. I mean, that is something worth looking at. And, you're right. I love writing proposals and putting together.
I love it. You do it so well. Guys, everybody watching, this is so exciting what's happening right now. This is going to be huge. Today we're the 27th of July, which means that we're working, Sharron and I, on this and rolling it out for it to start in October. And it will start, Sharron is from Atlanta, as I said. She's kicking it off. We're kicking it off with her paint journey workshop, where I'm literally going to be there and bring the camera and start interviewing people. You guys, if you're coming, in the process of unleashing your creativity, your spirit, unleashing, opening up your soul, expressing itself on paper. I'm just so excited. And all along the journey, it will be like that. All along this big tour, it will be about meeting you. It will be about interviewing you about your practices, and also spiritual teachers all around. This is going to be really, really juicy. And if you know any corporation out there or companies that would like to donate or be part of this is going to be a big, big thing for the end of the year in 2011 and onwards with other countries.
Oh, I agree. And I mean, I'm excited to be a part of this. And I think that, my goal is to put together a team of people who really who feel compelled and feel inspired, that maybe even provide some pro bono services. I know that even in my own business, every year I take on 1 or 2 clients that I just support them. And that's my way of giving back. And so, I just like to say too, to the audience there that's watching us today or watching this later, that, we're looking for people who want to support a cause. And this is a world cause, because, with the way things are going in the world today, and the fact that people are just being bombarded with negative information, it's so important to get positive information out there. Yeah. And so I would love to have lots of volunteers and resources by professionals who have experience in this kind of work.
So much fun. The plan, it's so much fun to share this right now at the beginning of it. I just love documenting this whole process, unfolding, and just I find it so inspiring then later to look back and say, my goodness, this was one of the first conversation we had about this, and look at this now. It's just manifest and effortlessly. I can totally see how it's just rolling out.
Yeah, it's kind of like you hear the stories in the corporate world of the 2 or 3 people that got together, over coffee in a coffee shop, and they created this piece of business on a napkin.
Yes.
And the next thing you know, it's this multi-million-dollar business. And it's kind of like what we're doing. We're creating, we're concepting the dream. And you and I, you're right, in a brief. We met in the parking lot,
yeah.
and I knew in that moment that there was a connection there, and that it was going to bring
Unbelievable.
something. And as you say, in the past few months, we've concepted some things, and you've
Oh,
concepted
it
things.
just like it's because of that new connection, then all of a sudden there is thousands of other connections that are created, and it's like this ripple effect once you start really living, and allowing the synchronicities to just happen like that and trusting the universe also. Then one thing leads to the next and to the next, and it's you're like, wow, how is this possible that actually this person has all the skills, and how is it possible that then it opens up to this and that, and it's just like boom 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 boom, and you can never plan this out, you can never dream of it. It's better, bigger, juicier.
This is what I call, this is the evolution of the spiritual marketing plan, where it just starts to evolve, and you take it in and you take advantage of the opportunities. It's about timing, and it's about listening to the inner voices. And also too, I think that it's important for people to know that you can develop your dream by just allowing things to happen and not forcing it. And I think that, you and I, we laugh every day when we talk about
Yeah.
the whether are we forcing this or are we allowing this to flow. I mean, we're learning how to pay attention to what feels right and what the next step is, but at the same time we're putting together that formal plan that keeps us on track.
Yeah.
And this is what I love to do, is I love to be able to blend those two, and I really was not able to do that in some of the environments that I was in previously, although they were great environments, but they were much more conservative
Yeah.
about the planning. And so again, this goes back to, we talked about creativity earlier today. Just being able to develop a plan like this is a free flow of creativity.
Yeah, and you
And
would not associate it with it normally.
yes. And the other thing that I always love to do, that I kind of did this in the corporate world when I was there. I just didn't tell people, but being intuitive, I was able to really kind of know what was going on with people. And so I could flush out good information from them because I just intuitively kind of knew what was going on, or what they were thinking, or what they were feeling, and it gave me an opportunity to guide them in a different direction. And so I'm able to use that fully now in my business. I don't hide it at all.
Yeah, like all the skills, all your skills are coming to, are together now. You have created this network that is exactly aligned with everything that you were given, all your talents.
Yes, I used to wonder why I was in a certain job when I was younger. I used to think, now, what is the real purpose of me being in this position, or learning this program, or having this experience with this client, or with staff? And I can actually look back now and see how beautifully planned everything was in my life to bring me to this point, to be able to support people like yourself.
This is so fulfilling for both of us, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, I just want everybody to feel this excitement when they're developing their dream or their business. This is the way it should be.
Yeah, and what is great is that not just the excitement of a dream, but the excitement and the tangibility of it, and know that through, I feel like through your experience, it is like we're setting up the bricks already. Like we're putting them, we're building it, and it's not just a pipe dream or not just an idea, or it's like it really good. And I have to say, for me to go into a team required a lot, and I'm grateful that I met somebody like you, with high standards of work too. I'm a hardworking person, and I've been a one-woman show, so for me to let go of some things and to co-create like that physically is a big step, and it's like it's funny because I had my book when we met, and I just gave you my book. I felt like intuitively, to give you this book, and then you read it and you recognize so much of yourself in it, which then has created a foundation for an understanding, and I guess some kind of synergies that we had, and similar aspiration, and it's just wonderful how it just magically, just because of the book, of the audition, of this, and of course it required action, but ultimately look at this beautiful result now.
I know, and I, it took many, many years of being in many different situations to recognize that, when a very special event occurs, when you meet someone that you believe that there's an opportunity for the two of you to co-create something, that you take advantage of it, that you don't doubt it, and and that you really do listen to your feelings about it, because sometimes, you and I have even talked about where I might be feeling doubtful about something, or you may, but we share that, and by sharing that, we work through that, or we get clear. And clarity is very important when people work together.
Yeah, because it can be unsettling to, have this instant knowing about somebody, and know that you want to co-create something right there that is going to be tangible, but you just know that this person, without knowing this person is exactly it. That's the weirdest feeling. And often, in my old way of thinking, I'm just checking back and I need the facts and the this and that. But really now in this new realm, I think it's all about following our intuition and just trusting really this inner voice right there in that moment that says, try it out, maybe there's something. It's hard to explain it in words because it's so big all of a sudden. It's like this big splash of everything. The whole planet is connected when you met this person. It's like everything makes sense and you don't know why.
Right. And, I think that I've always been a believer that you need logic and you need intuition. You can't build things just strictly from logic always, and you can't just build things just from intuition, because you need the blending of both of them. And I know there was actually an article several years ago in the Harvard Business Review about blending intuition and logic and using both pieces in order to have a much better defined, or a better researched and explored project or plan or concept. And so what I've really worked hard to do was, when I came from the corporate world, was to make sure that I blend intuition with my logic, and I continue to use logic. And just like we need to do, we're doing research and we have to look at that research. It may or may not tell us exactly what we want to know, but when we fold our intuition into that, we know which path to follow.
Right.
And I think that's where so many people ignore that intuitive, that gut feeling. Most entrepreneurs, if you ask them the question, why did you do this? Why did you start this business? Most of them will say it was just a gut feeling. I knew that it would work. And I love that. And it's, people in sometimes in the corporate environment don't get that advantage. So, but I think you're right. The opportunities that we have by combining our expertise and our experiences and how we're going to do things can make for a great program and a great tour for you.
And for everybody involved, and just like it's countless, it's unlimited, and much greater than even being part of a network, even like Oprah Winfrey Network, because right now there's just no limit, and there's no limit to creativity. It's like, the comparison of you being in the corporate world before to now. Right now I'm like out of prison with this whole network thing. Just trying to find an idea about the network was stressing me out more than anything, because there was too many parameters to take care of, and think of, and instead of just being. And now I feel like all this idea was could only emerge when all those pieces were together, and I had let go of this idea of the Oprah Winfrey Network. And it doesn't mean it won't involve the Oprah Winfrey Network later. I think we both agree that there's tremendous possibilities for a network and a visionary, production company or to make something huge out of it. But right now we're not going to be stopped by that either. It's going to happen regardless. And that's what's even more magical, is like, okay, we're going to make it happen, and it is possible. And I have just this inner knowing that that's it. It's like there's no doubt in my mind that this is happening, and it's going to be huge, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's just, it's a wonderful feeling to be at and a part of.
Well, and you just expressed so clearly that it's about, when something doesn't go the way we think it should go, is to look at that and say, what did that bring to the situation. And I think that you're right. The Oprah opportunity, not just for the two of us, but I think there are many people, I'll bet you there's many people out there right now.
Thousands.
Their life changed after that audition, because maybe they got selected, or maybe they didn't, but because they took the time and effort, that it made a difference in their life. And to me, that's the beauty of this whole program, was that she inspired so many people to take action. And not necessarily, getting selected for that program, but I have a vision, and I really think, and I have said this, and I'll say it again. I think that you are just as talented and inspirational and able to amass an audience as big as Oprah's, because you think about the fact that she produces these wonderful programs. And she's not doing it alone. She has a team. And when we get that team, when we get those sponsors, when those people show up that are going to be part of this vision and dream that you have, we can do the same thing. And like you said, you cannot do it alone. It takes support, and we're going to get that. We're going to find that, and I know that it's going to be there at the right time in the right place.
Yeah. And it's I really learn, and I'm grateful for this, to not continue to open closed doors, because there's those doors that are closed along the way, and it's okay. It was just not meant to. You were not meant to take this flight. You were not meant to, take this trip. You were not meant to be with this person. You were not meant to be part of this company. It's fine. It's all perfectly aligned, and it's exactly what needed to happen. So I love that I'm not making wrong any more events, or less and less events that are not as I wanted them to look like.
Right. It's like we say, sometimes we don't, the universal calendar doesn't always meet our calendar. Then my schedule on my Outlook doesn't necessarily mean that that's what the universe has in store for me.
No, that's good to keep in mind,
Yeah.
It creates a lot of freedom. Well, thank you, Sharron. Thank you so much. I feel so blessed to have met you.
You're very welcome, and I can't wait.
Me too. Ding! Like the magic fairy, God fairy.
Yes.
There's a magic project here starting. Thank you.
Thank you.